Welcome back to my channel. This is Dom, and it's been a while since I put up a game, mainly because real life has got in the way, and the other game I had just didn't really get to a conclusion, so I didn't bother posting it. But this one I thought I'd go back to the Boxer project that I've been running with earlier this year, because I know some of you were saying, oh, moved on to something else, doesn't touch Boxers. But anyway, I've thought I'd have another go at Boxers, and I've gone back to the Osprey Blue Book, the Men Who Will Be King rule set, mainly because it's quick and easy, and I just fancied something quick and easy to play as a solo game. So I've picked up on the game, one of the scenarios in the book, which is, I think it's called It's Awfully Quiet Out There, which is basically an ambush. So you have in the center of the table a column of troops, in this case coalition troops, worth 18 points, who are sort of working their way around. So in this scenario, they've been investigating the temple, and are now sort of starting to trudge their way along. Meanwhile, the Boxers have decided this is a really good opportunity for an ambush. So all the way around the edge of the table, you've got Boxer forces, or Chinese forces of various types. 24 points worth. So it just shows the comparison in numbers. So what have I got? In here we've got 2 units of regular infantry with modern rifles. They are nothing special, so I've just literally taken them out of the book, because with 18 points it's really hard to do anything else. I've diced up for the leadership, so you'll see green dice by the units. It's just to denote the leadership. In Men Who Will Be King, you dice for the leader of the battalion, the group, whatever they are. So this one's got leadership 6, this one's got leadership 5, and so the Germans are slightly better than the British sailors. And then I gave them a Gatling gun. I don't know whether that's wise or not, but that's got a leadership of 6 as well. So they start right in the middle of the table. They are the defender in this scenario. It's 10 turns, and basically it's about inflicting as much damage as you can before that 10 turns is up. For the Boxers, we've got one group here, which are these are just normal tribal infantry. They've got a really good leadership of 5. Then beside them, denoted by the fact they've only got 1 flag, whereas everything else has got 2. These are untried, so they're sort of they're poorer versions of tribal, and to make it even worse, they've got a leadership of 7. So I'm not sure they're going to do very much. Here we have some. These are being counted as irregulars, so they got obsolete muskets. Sorry, phone went off. So yeah, these are irregular infantry with obsolete rifles, but they've got a leadership of 5. They've got an untested cannon who's got a leadership 6. Over here is another group of irregular infantry with obsolete muskets, etc., which is a 7 command. Over there, actually, those are supposed to be. I know they didn't fight in one mass unit, so this is Tiger Men, and just to denote the fact, I upgraded 1 unit of the irregular or tribal troops to make them fearsome. However, they managed to roll a 7 for their leadership, so they may be fearsome, but they may not actually move anywhere. And then finally, another group of Boxers. These are just bog standard tribal, as in the book, and they've got a leadership of 6. So we've got 10 turns. Terrain-wise, well, you can see it here. We've got the temple in the middle, a small sort of religious enclosure here. There's a wood over there, another wood there, small building there, a whole load of paddy fields out here, and then some hills around the edge here. So I laid out the terrain before I knew what the battle was going to be, and randomly chose the scenario. So there we go. It's going to be the Boxers first, So I will activate their units and come back. Right, an interesting turn. This group decided just to take its normal movement option. They get a free movement, which doesn't need to be activated. They got a good roll and a run forward to there. This group also took their free activation to move and skirted around the edge of the hill there. Just push them back a little bit. We'll come back to these in a minute. These decided just to stand and fire, which is a free activation. They're largely in 18 inches, which is their maximum range of those sailors. So they're going to have a pop. The cannon here rolled a 6. And you say, well, it needed 6, didn't it, Dom? But it did, but it's undrilled, so actually needed 1 higher. So it failed to activate. And then the group over there decided it's out of range of over here, so they decided to run, even though they're in the marsh, and didn't roll very far, so they've only gone 6 inches there. In the woods there, you can see the autofocus. In the woods there, you can see the Tiger Men. They took their free movement and headed into the wood. Rolled pretty well, actually. I think they rolled a 10. They're not slowed by a wood, so that's good for them. And then at the back, that unit there decided to do a double move, or on the double, but didn't roll very well, and so just moved up to the back there. So the only thing that's going to happen this turn from the boxers is this unit of irregular infantry is going to fire at the sailor boys. It's long range. There's only 10 that are in range. These 2 at the back just are slightly out of range. So we've got 10 dice needing 5s. Ooh, kind of useful there. Good shooting. So 4 hits. 4 hits. Now normally that would be a 4 to 1. Be 4 kills. But at range, it's every 2 is a dead. So it actually kills 2 of the sailor boys straight off the bat. Wow, that could be nasty. So the sailor boys need to do a test. They are a 6. They've taken 2 losses, so that means they need an 8. But they rolled a 9, so they're not bothered by it. Well, they probably are a little bit bothered by it, if I'm honest, but there you go. So we'll move on to the coalition forces turn. So it makes sense that these sailor boys will just return fire. It's an automatic for regular infantry. They don't need dice to fire. So they're going to fire 10 shots now because they've lost a man, obviously lost 2 men, hitting on the irregular infantry here. They're needing 5s and 6s as well. Yep, 5s and 6s. And they got 4 hits as well. It's over half range, so 2 of the irregular, in this case Chinese, bite the dust. They need to do a break test. They are on +2 because of the casualties. They rolled a 6. They have a base of 5, so that means they failed, and they are pinned. Just going to put that marker there to remind me they're pinned. So that was a good result for the coalition forces. What should we do next? I think that kind of takes a little bit of the pressure off the front of the column. So I think what we might try and do is move the machine gun so it turns and points this direction towards these fellas coming this way. So he is a 6 and rolls a 9, so he's able to move. All it's really going to do is just spin round like that and cover that gap. Can't fire as well this turn, but at least he's covering the hole. That is that. And then the German Marines at the back of the column I feel like they've got to protect the rear. So they are going to turn round. They could try and get into this building here, couldn't they? Into this building here. That might be a good option for them. They could try and get into this building, but the trouble is it hasn't actually got much view positions to fire from. So I think what they're going to do is they're going to try and fall back to about here. So let's see if they can roll there. They need a 5, which they get, and then they're going to move. They can move up to 10 inches. So I think they're just going to come back here and provide protection the rear of the column, like that. Just hope the machine gun can cover their asses. There we go, and that is the end of turn 1. So we'll be back with turn 2. Right, let's start turn 2. So we've got the irregular troops here. They're pinned. I'm going to try and rally them. They are base morale of 5, but they've suffered 2 casualties, and they've also got 1 pin. No, the rally test, it's only, you only take for each pin. So basically they're going to need 6+, which they fail. So I believe that means they take another pin. Remains pins, must immediately retreat half a move. So actually retreats off the table. Okay. That's them gone then. Don't know whether they can rally back on. But anyway, first blood to the coalition forces. And they pushed this unit straight off the table. Okay. That changes the complexion a bit. Well, let's try the cannon, see if that can actually do anything. It's a leadership 6, but it is undrilled, so that's a -1. So it needs 7+. It rolls an 8, so it can fire. It's going to fire at those poor old sailor boys back there. So let's see what we can do with this. So field gun has a short range of up to 16, so it is long range. You get 2 dice per crewman. 2, 4, 6. So I've got a 4-man crew, so that's 8 dice, and they will be hitting on 5. They get 3 hits. At range they're 2 to 1, so another one of the sailors bites the dust. They now need to do a rally test, and they've failed, so they are pinned. That is not good. So those fellows are pinned. Therefore now we'll move to this unit. Now then, they are 10 inches away from the pinned sailors. If they choose to try and double, which would give them 3 dice. Yeah, so we could try and double, which would give me 3 movement dice. The trouble with that is that they are a leadership 7 and they're undrilled, so they'd be needing 8+ to get 3 dice. They could just move for free as an automatic action, which is I think what they'll do. Gives them 2 dice of movement, and they rolled 8, which gets them to there. Okay, those sailors are in a little bit of trouble. Let's try next with this group of boxers here. I think they're going to also try and keep the pressure up, but I think they're going to try and double. So they'll need to activate. They're a 5 leadership. They rolled an 8, which means they're active, so they get 3 dice of movement. 6 and 2 1s. So it wasn't really worth it, was it? So they'll come scream around the corner here. So that's those fellas. They're starting to put pressure on that coalition column. So what next? I think it's these fellas over here. Fellas there. They are... they're outside of range. Yeah, they are. So they're going to double. No, they're just going to... yeah, they're going to try and double. So they need a 7+, which they get. They get 3 dice of movement. But they're going to lose one of those because they're in the marsh, so they move 9 inches. That put them within range. Almost within range, maybe the front rank guys are. Okay, that's them. And then over this side, the tiger. Tiger men are just going to move up into the edge of the wood there, I think. 10 inches, it's an automatic move for them, because they're just choosing to activate, use their free activation. Irregulars or tribal infantry can use can do a movement for free. They move up to the edge there, and they're not slowed by the wood. So even though they got very bad leadership, they're able to move reasonably well. And then the final group of boxers here, they're going to just do a free movement around there. Wow, 11. And there we go. That is the end of the boxer turn 2. So they're closing in on the back of the column on those German Marines. But more concerning is the British sailors, who are pinned and got some boxers right in their face and a cannon already ranging in on them. The Gatling gun, well, let's hope it can do its stuff, because there's another column of boxers coming terracing round there. So yeah, this could be interesting. Back with the coalition turn. Right, coalition turn 2. We're going to start with the sailor boys, who are pinned. They're just going to try and rally. So they've got a leadership of 6 and 1 pin. They rolled a 7, which is exactly what they need, so they rally. But they can't do anything else this turn. Next up, the Gatling gun. It's just going to have to fire, I think. That's all it really wants to do. It's its purpose in life. So it has to activate. Crude weapons don't automatically fire. That's what I was just double checking. It rolls an 8, so it does activate, and it's going to open up. Now, machine guns work in quite a nice way, I think. So basically, you can fire up to 2 dice per crew member, which is obviously 8 dice. However, so a machine gun will jam if there are more 1s rolled than there are crew. So basically, as it starts to accumulate casualties, it starts to have more chance of misfire, which I kind of like. So we get 8 dice. However, they are hitting on 4, I think, because they are drilled crew members, and therefore very effective. Yeah, 4+. And it's short range. Every single one of these will be a kill on these 4 boxers. So, let's see what happens. Ha! They rolled 4 1s. Oh my goodness. So they actually only hit 3 times out of all that. That is a diabolical result. So it does mean 3 of the boxers bite the dust. Or just lay them down, then I remember how many are dead out of the unit. And it does mean that the machine gun jams. Just double check that. Ah, no, if more are rolled. So it's exactly the same number, so it doesn't jam this turn. Lucky gun. The boxers took 3 losses, therefore they need to do a break test. They've got a base morale of 5. However, they fail. That will take a lot of pressure off the machine gun crew. So basically, their initial blast, while firing a bit high, did manage to stop the Boxers and make them think twice about what they're doing. Now then, what to do with these fellas over here? The Germans, I think their immediate target is, or major threat, is these fellas over here. So they're going to fire at those. We've got 12 dice, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. They will be hitting on a 4, I think. Yeah, hitting on a 5. I don't think I can really say that the Boxers have got cover there. No, I don't think so. So let's see what they can do. 5s to hit, 12 dice. That's pretty horrible. Three hits. Is that right? It's about odds, actually, to be fair. It's about odds. Maybe 4 should have been hit. At that range, however, it is 3 dead. So these fellas, 3 of them bite the dust. They need to do a break test. They are a 6. They've suffered 3 losses, and they've gone pinned as well. So that is the end of turn 2. Looks a little bit better for the Allies. The column's now back in operation. This guy has rallied, obviously, or this unit has rallied. The machine gun has pretty much stopped briefly the attack by the other unit Boxers, and the Boxers at the rear have been held by the German guns. So we'll move on to turn 3 and start with the Boxers. So I think we'll do the rallies first of all. Let's start with the unit here. It's got 1 pin. It's got a leadership of 5, so it is unpinned. Probably that's all it's going to do, is get another blast in the face from the machine gun, but yeah, it is what it is. The other unit at the back in the compound, that is a 6. It's got 1 pin. Fails. Now then, it rolled more, so it must immediately retreat. So I'll do that in a second, but that one pulls back. So activations. I think we'll start with a gun. See if he can fire. It's a 6, but he is unreliable or undrilled. So, but it still rolls a 10, so that goes off. So we've got 8 dice, hitting on a 5. 2 hits. 2 hits at range. That's 1 man down. So one of the sailors bites the dust. So they need to do a break test. So they've lost 1 man. Their leadership is a 7. Is therefore a 7. They rolled an 8, so they are fine. So now I was hoping that we might break them, but I don't think it's going to be possible. So, or pin them. Sorry. So this unit is going to go straight into combat with the sailor boys. They're within. Oh, hang on, I should dice for that in case they rolled very, very low. Oh, 3. I think even 3, though. Yeah, they even get in with 3, to be fair to them. Right, the way it works is if one touches, they all touch, so there's no need to worry about distances. The fact it was only a 3-inch move, first figure was within 3 inches, so they all made contact. So this unit is a full strength 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 dice. They are fighting on a 5. You might remember these rules. Hand to hand is bloody, especially when you roll pretty decent roll like that. 2, 4, 5 men down. So 5 of the sailors go down. I'll leave the take the bugler down. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Wow. So 5, 6, so 8 dice back from the. It's simultaneous the fighting. So 8 dice for the sailor boys. 3, 6, 8. Hitting on a. What's their hand to hand? 5 as well. They got 3. So 5 plays 3 was the upshot of that melee. So we need to do a rally test. So the sailors lost 5 men. They have a base morale of 6. They need 11 plus. So they fail. So actually that puts them on 0. Because it's -5 from the test. That's just a pin marker, so they are pinned. The boxers suffered 3 losses. They're on a 7, so they also need 10 plus. Oops. They rolled an 8, which is a valiant attempt, but they fail as well. I'm actually wrong. So the boxers don't need to take a test because they won, effectively. The poor old sailor boys do. I'm going to take the bodies out because it's getting a little difficult to see what's going on with all the dead men around, and actually it only matters what casualties you lose that turn. And they have to retreat half a move. They roll a 6, so they go back 3 inches. And they are pinned back there. Interesting. That's not good. That's not good at all for the coalition forces. They don't have many forces anyway, and they start to lose that kind of quantity of men, but it was inevitable, I guess. So that was that unit. Next unit is the riflemen in the back here. They're going to try and move forward again on the double. See if they can do it 3 goes in a row. No, they failed, so they don't move. And then we'll move to the other side of the table. So first of all, we'll retreat the boxers here that suffer the casualties. Take the dead away this time. So they go back. I rolled a 10, so they go back 5 inches away from the threat, which is good for the coalition forces, and particularly for these German sailors, because they've only got 1 threat, which is these tiger men. So the tiger men, again, they've got poor morale, so I think they're just going to run out. How far do they need to go? 8 inches. Let's give it a shot. It's an automatic move because they can move for free. I'd like to double, but they've only got a morale of 7, so yeah, I think they'll just do a straight activation. They rolled a 9, so they pile into these boys. Whoops. Once again, they pile in, irrespective of the contact distance. They automatically charge home. Right, we'll do some combat. Right then, so this is going to be brutal. The Tiger Men get 12 dice. They are fierce, so they actually hit on a 4. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. They do a lot of damage. That's 3, 4, 5, 6. So exactly half. Exactly half. So 6 of the German Marines are dead. They fight back with their 12 dice as well. They have also fighting strength of 4. And they do 2, 4, 7. 7. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 of the Tiger Men die. 6 of the Sailor Boys die. 3, 4, 5, 6. So basically the Tiger Men lose. They have, what did I say, 6 death. 2, 4, 7 death. 7 death. So they cannot pass their break test because their base morale is 7. However, as long as they don't roll 0, they should be all right. So they've rolled a 9. -7 means they just take the break, so they're just pinned. They're just pinned. Sorry, I meant if the net result was a 0, they would rout. That's what I was trying to say. And because they just managed to roll a 9, which obviously -7 is +2, means they don't break instantly. However, they do fall back 7 inches, which is down to 3, and they are severely pinned back here. And the Germans can breathe a sigh of relief for the moment. Okay, that is it. So that is the end of the Boxer turn 2. So now it is the coalition turn 2. So we might as well start with those Germans. So we might as well start with the Germans. There are obviously 6 men left. They're going to open up on the Boxers right in front of them. I think that's all they can do. It's an automatic action because regulars can just fire for free. So they will do that, hitting on a 5. They get 3 hits, which at that range is 3 kills. And this unit is starting to think its life choices were not good. So that's a -3 check. And they rolled a 5. So that is -3 down to a 2, which definitely means they have failed. They get another pin token and they are pushed back again, this time into the woods. So I think they're pretty much done. The Tiger Men, which is what the coalition forces needed to happen. They needed to push something away or break something. Right, let's go on to the other side of the table. Right, back on this side of the table, I think the Sailor Boys need to do a rally test. They are a leadership 6. They got 1 pin, which makes it a 7, but they're discipline 1, which makes it back down to a 6. And they rolled a 6, so they rally. Just in time to get a face full of Boxers again, I suspect. So that's them finished. The machine gun, that's going to open up again on the Boxers that are sitting here. I think that's all it can do. It needs to try and break one of these, 3 Boxer units that we have around here. They will activate on a 6. They rolled a 9. So they will open up again. See if they can be a little bit more effective this time. So 2, 4, 6, 8 dice. Needing 4s. That's much better. That was 6 hits this time. And only a couple of 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these Boxers hit the dust. They are leadership 5, so they need an 11 plus to not be pinned. Tried their best. They rolled a 9, so they are pinned, and that was what was needed in terms of taking the pressure off this side of the column. And that's it for the Allies. They are running out of men and grimly holding on. So that was turn 3. Turn 4 for the Boxers next, I guess. So let's start over here with this unit here that's just failed or just gone pinned. It's got a leadership of 5. It's got 1 pin, so it needs 6 to rally, which it does. So they are back in operation, if nothing else. Can't do anything this turn, but they're there. Thanks to the good morale. Over here. Well, I think these boys just have to slam straight back into the poor old Sailor Boys again. They have got them on the run. This tends to happen from what I see of Men Who Be King. Once you've got a unit on the roll. So the reverse there would have happened if if the Boxers had been beaten off by the Sailor Boys, they would have pulled back and sat here right in front, and all the Sailors would have done next go was give them another volley. But hey, it is what it is. Right, we'll start with the 3 Sailors. That's all we've got left. They are hitting on a 4, and they get 2 of them. So 2 of these fellas die. They've got 2, 4, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 left. I think I underdid them last time because they've got a 16-man unit. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And I've got another dice. I did undo them last time because they have got 16 men. Right, they will be hitting on 4 as well because they're tribal infantry. And they wipe out what's left of the poor old Sailor Boys. And that is that. So Sailor's dead. And the column is in real trouble now. So they won the combat, so that's all that happens with them. Let's see, what do we do? The cannon, there's really nothing for it to do, so I don't think it's going to activate. The riflemen in the back there, they are going to double forward again. No, they're just, they're going to double forward again. They rolled a 9, so that's good. They move 13. So they're very keen to get ahead and get some of the plunder, clearly. So even though they've got a very poor morale of 7, they've actually done pretty well, those fellas. There we go, and they're almost into the combat. There's an awful lot left. Right, so that was turn... Oh, hang on, we've still got some more, haven't we? They really need these boys to get some pressure on the... to rally here, sorry, is what I mean. So they're a 6. They've got one pin. They rolled a 6, so they fail. So they retreat again. 7 goes back 4 inches. No, 3 inches. That's not so good for the Boxers. They could have done with putting a bit of pressure on the rear of the column. As it is, I suspect that it means these Germans can now turn round and support the front of the column. Right. The Tiger Men, they have 2 pins, so they've got a 7 basic with 2 pins. They fail again, and they retreat yet again. I suspect they are probably done for the game, and that is them. So that is the end of the Boxer turn 4. So let's have a quick look at what's going on. Whoops, he said dropping his... So we've got the Germans have seen off the threat from the rear pretty much. These Tiger Men are pretty much done. 2 pins and a base morale of 7. It's going to be hard for them to rally because remember they need to get rid of both pins. This unit here is still viable, absolutely viable, but needs to get rid of the pins. And then be able to come back into the table. Over here is a little bit, well, a lot worse. The unit round the corner there is doing pretty well. Just needs to, well, it has rallied now, so means it'll be back in next go. The guys here facing the Boxers at the front have just finishing off plundering the bodies of the sailors and already licking their lips at the Gatling gun next. The Germans have done all right, as I say. And you've got a fresh unit of Chinese riflemen here, and the cannon, which really hasn't gone into far out. So we're back with Coalition turn 4. Right, Coalition turn 4 then. First of all, so machine gun can only fire 180 degrees. So technically it could hit these 3 figures here. I think that just feels a bit cheesy. So they're going to just keep pumping shots into these this group that's coming around here. I think that's the only thing to do. So they need to activate, need a 6, they get a 7, so they're fine. 8 dice again, hitting on a 4. That's rather better. That's 5. 5 dead. So this unit is pretty much done. 2, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 men. They're on a base of 5 morale. So they are, well, that was actually a 2. So they rolled 3, which means this unit has evaporated. And that takes a little bit of pressure off the coalition forces just in time. Right. They've only got one other unit to activate, which is the Germans. I think they're going to try and charge into this Boxer unit here. I think that's all they can do, because at the moment the problem is they're just in danger of being overwhelmed one after another. So it's either that or let the machine gun die. But I think they're going to try and go down fighting. So, right, they need to activate. There are 5. They rolled an 8. They are going to into the double. Oh, blimey, they rolled 40. They rolled 24 there. 22, sorry, 22. So these boys are charging into these boxes here. So they've got 2, 4, 6 men left. And they are hitting on 4s. Wow. They got 5 hits. 5 hits on the boxers. So they got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 dice back. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Also hitting on 4s. Ooh, not so good this time. It's 2, only 4 hits. Only 4 hits. Now that is a lot of the unit dead. I'll leave the officer there because he's important. I should have been dicing for dead officers. I've just realised that I haven't done it for either side. So it's only a double 1 if you to kill the officer. So the result of that is the Germans win 4-5. So it is the Boxers that need to do a test. They have a base morale of 7. -5 means they failed, but it is just a break. It is just a pin, and they will retire 4 inches away. So, at some cost, the Germans have seen off the Boxers. It's been a brutal, brutal fight, that's for sure. Leave that there. So all the coalition force have left is their machine gun and 2 Germans. This Boxer unit is going to be hard to rally because it's got a base morale of 7 and 1 pin, so it's an 8. This unit's free and ready to activate, but it's only got a base morale of 7. The cannon is not really got much of a target at the moment. And those 2 groups, well, I think the Tiger men have finished, and those Boxers should come back. I've said that, but they failed 2 rally tests so far. So we're on to turn 5. Boxer turn 5. So we'll start with this unit here. It's got a base morale of 7 plus 1 pin, so it needs an 8 or more, and it does actually rally. Okay, interesting. Can't do anything this go, but it's rallied. I don't think the cannon's got any kind of shot, so we'll do these fellas here. Now, they are in range. Yeah, they certainly are. However, I'm going to say those 2 can't see, so it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 dice. This could finish off the Germans here. No, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 dice. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 dice, hitting on a 5. What's that? Oh, that's them. Wow, absolutely nothing. Not a single 5 or a 6. Well, that could have just saved the Germans bacon. On the other side of the table, so over here the Tiger Men, well, they might as well try and rally. They've got a 7 and 2 pins. Well, they've rallied 1 pin off them, something at least. And then this unit of Boxers are a 6. They've got 1 pin. They still fail. They just do not want to know, and they roll back another 3 inches, 3.5 inches. Wow. So the rear of the if the Boxer could just get some coordination at the back, they would be fine. But they can't. So that is the end of this turn. No death this time. On to turn 5 for the coalition. So what to do? I think the Gatling gun is going to have to turn that direction, which it does. So it's going to swing itself around, pointing that way, so it's got a chance of hitting both these formations. And I think the Germans are just going to have to stand there for the moment and try and sacrifice themselves. There's only 2 men left. I think they're going to put 2 shots onto these boys here. It's forced to hit. They get 1 hit, so that's a kill. So they need to do a break test, a rally, a pin test. Sorry, they got a 7, so it's an 8. They rolled a 7, so they are pinned again. So that's put a little bit less pressure on the Germans, but they've got plenty more to come. So that's the end of turn 5 for the coalition forces. So we're on to turn 6, which may well be the last turn, I think, looking at the state of the armies. So we'll start with the Boxers here. We'll try and rally. They've got 1 pin. They're a 7. They rolled a 9, so they're back again. They're keen, these boys, considering they're not very good. The riflemen here will fire their 10 shots against those 2 Germans. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, hitting on 5s. This time they get them. Absolutely wipe those boys out. So that's the end of the Germans. The gun hasn't got anything to fire at. We'll have a look over the back there. So the Tiger Men have 1 pin. They've got a 7 morale. They failed again, so they will retire again. And then the other unit over there has got 1 pin and a 6. Would you believe it? Fails again, so retires. So I'll move them in a minute. So that is the end of Boxer turn 6. It is coalition turn 6, and they've only got the Maxim left. So what shall they fire at? I think they're going to fire at this column here, or this group here, because it's untouched at the moment. So we'll try and activate the gun. It does. 2, 4, 6. I'm saying like it does, like it's easy. I mean, it actually needs a 5. So it's not actually 100% guaranteed. They'll open up, I think it's up to 12 inches. Oh yeah, they're in effective range. So 4s. It took them a while to get their eye in, but they've done better. 5 casualties. 5 dead. Actually, I shouldn't take that one, should I? I should take the back guy. 5 dead. They've got a base morale of 7, so they can't. They're going to be pinned. They've rolled a 4, so 4 minus 5 means they break and they are gone. Wow. Okay, that changes everything. I was going to say game over for the Allies, but I think I'm going to call it. I'm going to say that is the end of turn 6. It would be going on to turn 7. Theoretically, we've got 1 more turn left. But I'm going to say the Boxers have considered that they've done enough damage in this engagement and will retire from the table. The reason for that is if they could ever rally those boys at the back, bear in mind they've got another retreat to do, I haven't moved them yet, those are going to prove almost off the table, and the Tiger Men are just not going to come back with 7 around 1 pin. That unit gone. Cannon really can't do much. Probably what would happen is that unit would retire and the cannon would just see if it can put some pressure on that gun, and then they just sort of gently retire off. They've killed 2 units of coalition of hated Westerners, and I think that is enough for the day for what they want to achieve. Let's have a look at the objectives of the game. So the objective for the defender, they get +2 for every half strength or more that remains on the table by the end of the turn. So they get +2 for that. They get +2 for every enemy destroyed or retreated off the table, but not those that melt away. So 1 retreated off the table and 1 was destroyed. So they're on 6 points. The attacker, so the boxers in this case, get 3 points for every unit destroyed. Well, they've destroyed 2, so that's 6 points. And 1 for every unit that melts away. Nothing melted away. So they actually end up as a flat draw. It was 6 points apiece. Honours even. The boxers get to fight another day. There's a lot of letters going to British sailors and German Marines. And the value of the Gatling gun was proved good. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. I did. It was quite fun, actually. The rules are not perfect. They are real beer and pretzel rules, but that's kind of what's fun. And you could quite easily do a couple of games in an evening playing these rules. A bit annoying with a different count. I must get some counters if I'm going to play this again to represent the leadership values of the troops, because I don't like having all the dice on the table. It gets very confusing. But part of the beauty of these rules is having the different levels, or having the leadership levels for the different commanders, and makes all the difference. Anyway, there you go. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share with your friends, your Auntie Mabel, and all those sort of good people. And stay safe. Have a good week, and I'll see you soon. This is Dom signing out.